Once again, we back. You guys already know the spill. You already know what's going on with the podcast, man. Keeping it coming every day of the week, even Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you get a notification when the podcast comes out. Man, what's going on? You guys got to hit me up in the DMs. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, the type of different type of topics. Like I said, starting back up 2020. These couple of episodes, I'm just kind of like freestyling and seeing what you guys want to talk about. Still checking my DMs and still listening to the people that have DM me about the different topics and the different questions and everything. Like I said, last season, I want to say, because like we've been doing this for a while. The last season, I had a phone line open up to people who wanted to call in and talk on the podcast. So that's still going to be an option. I might do it through Instagram like video or Instagram. Somehow, I'm pretty sure you can like talk to people through Instagram, and it'd be cool to even get the FaceTime and have it in the background, the green screen. But definitely try to do some new things for 2020 to keep the podcast interesting and keep it going and to just keep it lit. I wouldn't mind even vlogging. I'm thinking about going to Dreamville Fest, whatever it's called, and maybe vlogging that. That'd be some good content to put on YouTube. Definitely get that YouTube content up because that's what's gonna keep that fan base coming in. And part of the reason I'm doing a daily podcast, not only just to stay consistent, but to keep the content coming. Uploading a video on YouTube every day. That's definitely gonna help beat that algorithm. You're not gonna be able to get any better than that. Uploading a video every day is the way a lot of YouTubers are able to get that fan base and really get their videos on that trending and that main page. I'm not really a YouTuber. I'm not out here vlogging doing pranks because that's like what the normal YouTuber does. But having that outlet and having people be able to watch the podcast and not only listen, is definitely a big part in helping this podcast grow. And this podcast wouldn't be anything without you guys who listen to the podcast. So thank you so much for listening. The podcast is growing every week, man. I swear, like just to start it back this week, we did over like 2,000 plays, and I guess a lot of people are going back and listening to some of the old episodes. So if you have some extra time and if you all caught up on the new episodes, make sure you guys go back and listen to some of the old episodes. Me and Boss Jet Set killing it, and definitely you see how this podcast has grown. And listen to like the first episode when we were at the table on a PC, man. I didn't even have a Mac. I had the PC recording on Audacity, which is like a recording program for anyone who has a PC and knows anything about the different software and programs that's on a PC. You will know that Audacity is a recording program that you can use to record podcasts, I guess, and different things. Pretty much like the voice memo on an iPhone. We probably would have been better off using the voice memo on an iPhone, but definitely you guys go check that out because the progress is just growing and it's keep going. Like I had posted a picture on my Instagram. Make sure you follow me at SwishENT, and it was a picture of my old headphones and the PC and the Audacity setup. I think it was one of the episodes that I had recorded, and just to see that picture and to see the type of shit I'm doing now with the whole backdrop, got the computer, got the better mic, I got a better mixer. It just keeps growing. I can only imagine what it will be like in the near future. But steady, being consistent. This is the first time that I uploaded consistently on YouTube like I have. So I can only imagine 2 to 3 months from now where the podcast will be in gaining fans, gaining people. Like I said before on other podcasts, having listened to the podcast once and knowing that this podcast has come every day, it gives people something to look forward to if they're at work, if they're wherever they're at school, work, in the car, just anywhere, truckers. I don't know who's listening, but shout out to everybody who's listening. But people who listen and know that it's going to come every day, it becomes a habit. It becomes a part of people's schedule, and just even if it may be a good podcast when I'm talking about a bunch of different things that you may like, it may not be a good podcast, but the fact that it's coming every day, that the next one may or may not be good, which it's good because it is one every day. So if I do have a bad podcast, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's going to be another one tomorrow, and it's going to be another one the day after that, and it's just going to keep piling up. So you always have something to listen to. So that's something that I learned over the time. You know, you don't want to make people wait. You want to give people as much of content and product as possible, and you can see a lot of that within the music industry. You know, and plus this podcast is only 20 minutes right now. So, but yeah, you can see a lot of that in music industry. They give you a lot of content, but it's short. You know, a lot of these songs are only a minute to 2 minutes long. 3 minutes most. It may be 3 minutes most. If you listen to a lot of hip hop, you maybe get 3 minutes on a long song. That may be a song that has like 3 to 4 features. A lot of music nowadays are only like a minute 30 to 2 minutes long. And they're trying to give it to you quick, because nowadays it's a streaming game. You're streaming, you listen to a song, go to the next one, then go to the next one. You know, you spend 5 minutes on one song, you might tune out. You know, people's attention span is so short that you have to catch them in the beginning. You have to catch them as long as you can, or like as quick as you can, I guess is the word I'm trying. As quick as you can, and then you want to keep them coming. So you catch them quick the first minute, and then they're in there, and then the next episode or the next song they're gonna be catching it, and then go again, and then it's all the way through. Before you know it, with this music, you listen to a whole album and it's only been 10 minutes, and you listen to a whole 10 song album. And you know, a lot of these albums are only 7 songs. But this podcast, you know, I could do an hour, 2 hour long podcast talking blah 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 blah, but I feel like 20 minutes is a good amount of time for people to tune in and listen, and it gives them something to look forward to the next day. You know, a TV show is about 30 minutes, 45 minutes on television. You know, your favorite TV show comes on. Well, I don't know about nowadays because you got Netflix and stuff, but if you watch cable, your favorite TV show may come on at 9:30 and off by 10. You know, a lot of the show's really only 20 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes. But, you know, because you got to count in commercials and all that other stuff, which I think that's why streaming and Netflix and Hulu is really winning, because you don't have to worry about all those commercials. But, you know, your favorite TV show is really only 15 minutes, but they're going to give you 30 minutes. So your favorite podcast, which is Swisher Podcast, the greatest podcast on earth, is only 20 minutes long. So I'm going to give it to you short and sweet, but not too short till you're like, yo, that was too short. But it's so much that goes into this podcast, man. If you think you just sit down and record and talk, it's not that easy. It may look easy, but it's not as easy as it looks. You know, I don't want to do anything that's super easy, because whatever is super easy, whatever comes easy, you know, I don't want anything quick, because the outcome is not going to be as great as something that you work hard for. You know, I work pretty hard to do this podcast. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2017. I've learned so much, and I feel like it can only go up from here. You know, building blocks, it takes time, it takes steps, and you know, a lot of people ask me like, why don't you do interviews and more interviews and stuff? And I'm not opposed to doing interviews, but I feel like a show, when you have to depend on a interview or someone else to have a show, then you don't really have a show. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to start out 2020 like this, because I feel like, you know, me constantly posting, me constantly being on the podcast, it makes it a show that people get used to when if it's just me or whoever else. You know what I'm saying? Just consistently going on the Swisher Podcast, you know, it just consistently is gonna be on YouTube. You can look for that, and then if I do have a guest, you know, that would be great also. But it's just a whole part of learning how the algorithm works and how people receive the content that you put out. And it's a whole world that I've learned in the last year or two about podcasts, and how to keep people's attention, and just how to stay relevant, you know. And I think the biggest lesson that I've learned, that it takes time and you got to be patient, you know. Unless you have the money to put advertisements out, which I was doing at one point, you're going to have to be patient. And You know, I'm not opposed to paying for the Facebook ads and all that different stuff, but that just takes a lot of time to really learn how to how to use the Facebook ads, because that's a whole nother area. Because you think you just give them money, you say post this, and people are going to see it, but it's actually a certain type of way, and even a certain time of the day that you want to sponsor the run. Because if you're running at the wrong time, you may not get those views or those likes that you want on your Instagram. And I just feel like that you gotta know what you're doing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I've tried it, and I definitely it works sometimes, but I just gotta learn a little bit more about that. And definitely, so if anybody out there knows anything about not sponsors, anything about the Facebook ads and stuff like that, definitely hit me up in the DMs at SwisherENT, and we can discuss how you can help and be a part of Swisher Podcast, help this podcast grow, and just keep it moving, you know. And what's going on? Duke lost. Duke Blue Devils lost, but so did Carolina. But I'm gonna start with Duke. Duke lost to Louisville, and Coach K was I don't know, man. Coach K was pretty upset. It seemed like he was doing a press conference, or not a press conference, whatever that post game, shit, and he just sounded very upset with the team. I guess not with the team. He was just saying like, hold up. He can't blame his team. He just gotta accept that the other team played better, which is true, man. Sometimes you just gotta accept the other team played better, and we just didn't play as well. And that's pretty much what he said. But I didn't watch the game. I just saw the score and the aftermath of that video that someone had posted. B. Dot, who's on 102 Jams. You may know him. He was on Wildin' Out, but he had posted something about it, and let me see if I can find it for you guys. I'm definitely going to play it. That's one thing about a Switcher Podcast. Here we go, right here, Switcher Podcast. Here we go.
I'm a stand-up guy. Give him credit. I'm just saying the game shouldn't be played that way. We should have freedom of movement. They did their stuff better than we did, and they deserve to win. And that's all I'm not going to talk about that crap anymore.
That crap.
Because it's going to sound, you all will make it sound like I don't want it to sound. We lost, and whenever I'm here and we lose, I always credit the opponent, and I never throw my own team under the bus. Ever, ever. And I'm not going to make damn excuses.
Well, I mean, if y'all didn't play well,
that they could have beaten us another way too.
Okay.
God bless them. All right.
Man, that's Coach K, man. I never really heard Coach K talk. I never really heard him cuss. He said damn and crap. So that's just something crazy. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. Like I said, I haven't been watching a lot of college basketball. I've just been catching the scores, after the fact. But Coach K seemed very, agitated with his team. And I don't know. He just kind of sounded like a sore loser. But, that's Coach K. I thought Coach K was a lot older than he is. But, Duke basketball is supposed to be the best college basketball. But, I'm not a Duke fan. I'm a Carolina fan. My Carolina boys, they lost the Pitt. Well, I talked about it yesterday, University of Pittsburgh, and I don't know what's going on. I never seen Carolina start out this bad. And I messed up yesterday. I said they were 9-8, but they're actually 8-9. It might be 8-10. No, hold up. Yeah, 8-10 now. If I think about it, yeah. Cause 8-9, 8-9. Either they're 8-9 or 8-10, but they have a losing record, which is they're not 500. They have a losing record, and it's just kind of sad because usually Carolina isn't that bad. Like they're pretty terrible this year, and I'm 24 years old, and I've never seen Carolina play or have a record this bad before in my life. So it's just unsettling, but I'm pretty sure they'll pull it together in the end. Coach Roy Williams will definitely figure it out, and maybe they get some new recruits next year. And they may have a bad season this year, but next year, what if they win the national championship? So I'll take a losing record this year if we can get a national championship next year. take an L for a big comeback, man. Sometimes you gotta do that. But what else is going on, man? Swisher Podcast. Make sure you guys go on YouTube and follow. Subscribe. Hit that notification button. And when I say hit that notification button, on YouTube is a little bell. Make sure you hit that so you get a notification when we drop on YouTube, especially if you're a big YouTube fanatic. Because like I said, I'm going to keep it coming every day, 20 plus minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. And it's all part of the hustle, all part of the grind, all part of the game, man. If you want to do something like this, you got to put the work in. You got to put the time in. And, it don't really take me too long to do this because I've done it so much. I can record, edit the footage, and upload everything within an hour and a half. And that's the beauty of being able to be consistent, because you learn how to do something, you learn how to get good at it. And like I said before in an old podcast, if anyone needs any advice on YouTube or doing a podcast or anything like this, make sure you hit me up in the DMs at SwisherENT. If you have any music or any type of promo you want to get on the podcast, make sure you also hit me up at SwisherENT. Definitely doing promos. Definitely want to get your music on here. That can happen. That is something that I did within the past, and it worked. I was able to get a few artists' music up here, and people listened and they shared, and they brought followers and people to me, and I was able to bring followers and stuff to them. So I'm definitely going to look into starting that back up. So if you have any artists out there that or if you're an artist yourself and you want to get your music streamed on the Swisher Podcast, definitely hit me up at SwisherENT, because I'm all about helping others, and definitely if it's going to help the podcast grow. Man, the weather is crazy out here in North Carolina. It's like 70 degrees in January almost every day. I used to get up and go to work at super early in the morning, and it was like 70, 60 degrees outside. I had my big jacket on. I got, it's about to be cold, but it's warm, and it's crazy, this weather, because you never know with the weather in North Carolina. It can either be warm, cold, rain, and snow, and you just gotta be prepared, wear layers, and be prepared. And that's how you know it's a dry Sunday. I'm talking about the weather, but anyway, shout out to the people that comment on my t-shirts. I don't have a t-shirt sponsor, and if you want to get your clothing on here, I'll definitely rock your clothing or whatnot. But all the t-shirts you see is just t-shirts that I bought over time. I just like t-shirts. T-shirts is something that I take. I don't know. I feel like a nice t-shirt can go a long way. You always want to be clean. You want to have clean shoes. You want to have a nice t-shirt. So looking for certain type of t-shirts. And a while ago I was making t-shirts. I was making my own t-shirts for the podcast. But that's so expensive. When it comes to something like that, you definitely want to go to a wholesaler, someone who has like custom ink or somewhere who can make you a big bulk. But yeah, appreciate everybody commenting on my t-shirts. I try, yes, to keep it going. If you want to know where I get my t-shirts, definitely DM me at SwisherENT, and I'll email you the website, and we can make that happen. Shout out to the Instagram following. You guys support the podcast, and I don't know. Like I said, if people don't engage with the Instagram and with the SoundCloud, then there will be no podcast. So definitely, if you guys want to listen to other podcasts, then I'm going to give out a couple of podcast recommendations. Check out the This Past Weekend podcast from Theo Von. He's a comedian. It's kind of like what I do. He gets up there. Sometimes he has guests, but rarely it's just him up there talking. But he's a comedian. It's pretty funny, and they make little videos on YouTube. But check out This Past Weekend. Definitely check out the 85 South Show. Check out the Brilliant Idiots with Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz. And I recently started listening to Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz and Kaz and this other dude. I forgot his name, but check out those podcasts, because all those podcasts are great, man. Eventually, I'll be able to hopefully get on some of these other podcasts and build the fan base. But you guys already know what it is. This is a Swisher Podcast back once again. Make sure you guys subscribe and do all that good stuff. I didn't really have too many topics today. I just wanted, like I said, I gotta stay consistent, so I gotta bring you something. Gotta bring you something. I believe football is on today. I think the Chiefs are playing Titans, and Green Bay is playing San Francisco today, which I would definitely let you guys know. Comment on that tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow and listen to the podcast, because like I said, I'm gonna come hard tomorrow. I'm gonna come with a lot of topics. Gonna come with some new stuff, maybe some music. Like I said, I gotta check my DMs and see who all is sending me stuff and try and get on the podcast. But once again, this is the Switcher Podcast, and I'm out.